Good afternoon, folks, and thanks for joining us. Welcome to Kickboxing with Tim and the Mechanic. I'm Tim, joined as always by Brandon Cuttino. How you doing today, sir?
Doing good, man. A lot of stuff been going down in the kickboxing world, and I'm glad that we finally get to talk about it.
Oh, lots of big movements going on in the kickboxing world, not least of which is your fight coming up. How you getting ready for the big fight coming up February? What's the date?
February 18th, down in Newark. Can't say Newark because it's Newark, New Jersey, but in Delaware, it's pronounced Newark, Delaware. So you want to make sure you're saying it right. Main event. Definitely getting ready, feeling good, man. Like I said, I'm definitely getting some sparring rounds in. Definitely hitting the conditioning. Man, I'm feeling sharp, feeling good. Like I said, I just put out I think a little training montage a couple of days ago. So hopefully, hey, people, go on the socials, check it out, like it, retweet it, share it, whatever you want to do, comment as well.
And I believe to help support you, there is new items in the store. Is that correct?
Yes, of course, you guys check out FightersFirst.shop. That's where you get all my merch. This is one of my old shirts, but I got a new one too. It's the DC version, as you want to call it, or as I think they like to call it, the deconstruction one, where it just says the mechanic on it, but it has this logo on the back actually. So, hey guys, everything. I always appreciate you guys. Any way you guys want to help me out.
Absolutely. Okay, so we got a loaded show, and we're just going to try to organize everything. I'm going to put the timestamps down below. So we have one Fight Night 6, had some kickboxing fights. Again, timestamps will be down below, and then we're going into a little bit of the one Friday fights or one Lumpinee fights, a little bit of talk of KRUSH 145. We're going to be talking about the upcoming, Rise 146, and then doing a small preview.
164.
164. I'm sorry. And then we're going to do a small preview for the upcoming Glory Rivals here in Mexico. Did I miss anything there?
Nah, I mean, there is a lot. Like I said, there's a lot going on.
All right. That's why I'm having trouble organizing it in my head. But let's start with the easy one. The one Fight Night 6. This was a blockbuster event for kickboxing. We'll start with the pound for pound number 1 versus number 2. Chingiz Allazov looked dominant. He earned a knockout win. He is the new featherweight world champion by knocking out Superbon. And he looked unstoppable. Nothing Superbon did could stop the man from coming forward. He has a unique kickboxing style, and it really came through in this fight. I'm shocked. I'm impressed. We're living in a different universe after this knockout. What'd you make of the fight? What'd you think of it?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, hey, we all know, everybody that watched the show, that I did pick Superbon. I thought Superbon, would be able to still have enough in the tank to pull it off. But like I said, I was like, if Chingiz Allazov, he's the guy that goes 0 to 100 and he goes balls to the wall, and that's actually what he did. Kept coming forward, and I mean, he got in there and got out of there. 3 knockdowns. Man, and just put in the work. Like I said, I mean, you saw before, I think it was Murat Gagarin had caught Superbon back in the day at Kowloon in the first round. And I think Chingiz Allazov maybe, watched that fight, saw it, and was like, hey, you know what? I could do the same thing. And that's basically what happened, man. He went out there saying combinations was on point. I mean, like I said, I thought Chingy did have the power, and he definitely showed that.
Oh my God, yeah. Not only the power, but just the timing, the feints to set everything up. He had Superbon, who is a person who became a master of distance control with the kicks and everything like that. He had Superbon clearly panicked because Superbon was circling to the wrong side. He was circling into power. If Superbon can't control the distance, can't control the range, he runs out of ideas, because he's also well aware that he doesn't punch as well as these guys. He is a kick-based fighter, and if he can't get those kicks off, Chingiz Allazov is just a constant opponent. One thing that also happened in the post-fight press conference, Allazov was talking about how proud he is to beat Sidichai. He was still like, the Sidichai win I like more. That one meant more to me than the Superbon win. But now he's beaten in a row Sidichai and Superbon in very impressive performances. Like, it's very hard, because we've left the golden era. It's tough to leave your mark in history, but I feel like Chingiz Allazov is kind of reaching the point where we can say, is he reaching the point of being a kickboxing great in history? I don't know, Brandon. Maybe I'm off here. What do you think? Stop me when I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, like I said, you know what I'm saying? We talk about this lead up to the fight. Like I say, man, he's going through a killer's row. And like I said, man, as long as he keeps on defending this belt, let's see how long his reign can be. Because we had thought Superbon's reign was going to be long after he took out Petrosian, but then again, you saw him. I think he had like one title defense, and then boom, he lost. He lost his next fight. So let's see. How long Chingiz Allazov can keep this belt. But again, like you said, he's really high on that Sidichai fight because I think he knew who Sidichai is. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they run it back with Sidichai to get the shot. I mean, I think personally, I would like to see Petrosian come back because I'm kind of like I think I was talking to somebody online, man. I know. I think the rumor is that maybe Gregorian's going to be next, but I was like, man, I feel like this guy's always fighting for the title and he's not even doing anything. So it's just one of the things. Was like, let him fight somebody else, and then maybe let Gregorian get next. Then, but I mean, but if it has to be, if it has to be that fight, then I mean, hey, I'll still watch it. It's still good action.
Yeah, apparently what he said in the press conference is it's like in the post-fight call out, he said, I want to go up in weight and fight Rodtang, which is just insane. Holy crap, that's an insane fight right there. And then in the post-fight press conference, he had said, if I can't fight Rodtang, I'm not going to do Muay Thai or anything like that. I would take the gentleman that you just said, or Petrosian would be the top two contenders. So any one of them, whatever, like this, considering what his kickboxing style is, considering how good of a weight class this is, there's no bad options for him. Like you said, it would be nice to see him face a real top contender who maybe is on a win streak, which oddly enough is actually, I think Sidichai is the only guy with a win in that division at the moment, which is kind of like, okay, like that's how good Sidichai is, right? He's a legend. But yeah, I think Chingiz Allazov would take that fight, but any one of them is exciting. If you haven't seen the fight, first of all, what the hell are you doing watching this show? Like, you don't go watch the fight. Yeah. Anything else you got to say on this one before we move forward?
Yeah, no, like I said, I mean, hey man, I'm sure Superbon, definitely will be back. I kind of want to know what's going to be next for him. Will he maybe get, I guess you want to say maybe a softer fight, I don't want to say a layup, but maybe a David Kiria type of fight or something like that,
It's so you can't say anyone's name after that without me pissing people off.
I know. I'm sorry, my bad. Sorry, my guy, but I don't know. I'm just thinking what's gonna be next for him. See how it is because of course he wants to get that title back, but I guess we just gotta wait and see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, getting knocked out that bad, like it was 3 knockdowns and then he was stiff, maybe take some time to recover, I would recommend. He has talked about moving over to Muay Thai. So there's tons of options for him, but I do hope he takes a little bit of downtime and doesn't spar and really heals his head. The Flyweight Kickboxing World Championship in 1 was decided. Superlek Macau got the win that he needed. He defeated Daniel Puertas. I think it was a much closer fight than most of us were giving him credit for. Daniel Puertas was doing a very good job, but ultimately Superlek gets the win and he is now the champion. What do you think? What do you make of this one?
Yeah, no, like I said, Daniel Puertas definitely did show up, show up and show out for himself. He represented himself well, but I mean, like I said, man, Superlek, man, he's just a little bit better, saying, he did what he had to do to get the job done. Like I said, technique was on point, and just again, he looked crisp, and he just beat him to the punch, beat him to the kick.
Yeah, 100%. It was a great fight. It was a great performance. It was worthy of a championship title. But just slightly down the card, you had Rodtang taking a step in the division. Rodtang moving over to kickboxing, saying, I want to take a kickboxing title. He beat the Eagle of Yi, Jito Yibu, in a flawless performance. I think it gets tougher to knock people out when someone knows who you are. I think that's what Rodtang, he's just kind of decisioning people now because everyone's scared of him. Anyway, so Rodtang versus Superlek for the kickboxing world title is nearly locked at this point. We don't know when it's going to happen, but we're quite certain it will happen this year. What do you make of it? How do you square it up? I feel like we've been talking about this fight for like a year now, right?
Yeah, I mean, hey man, Rodtang is one of the stars. People know who he is. He goes out there, puts on the show, or at least tries his best to put on the show. Like I said, it's kind of hard. It takes two to tango. Some people don't want to get knocked out, so they kind of just try to do enough, to kind of say they're in the fight. But yeah, like I mean, I guess it would be like who does he have to beat to get a title shot? But I think really this is the fight that everybody wants to see.
Yeah, I'm expecting this one, and I could be wrong. Rodtang is one of their impressive names that one championship is actually built from the ground up. Of like, if you follow the UFC, you might actually know Bellator. I'm expecting him to be fighting for a kickboxing title on the US card. This is not based on rumors. It's not based on hearsay. It's just me speculating that I think they're going to put him on the May 5th one fight night 10 card with Demetrius Johnson and all that. But yeah, I think I'm expecting that, but it could be wrong. Anyway, let's move down to, we were just talking off air and I was like, hang on. So Stamp Fairtex was booked in a mixed rules contest against Anissa Mexen. Anissa Mexen being like the Iska and Waco and Glory and Kunlun and all this other stuff, and Venom Muay Thai and Savat. She was a boxing national champion. It was a mixed rules contest, so they do 1 round Muay Thai, 1 round MMA, and so on. She didn't show up to the press conference. They said she was sick. She didn't show up to the weigh-ins at all. They said it's an illness. And then the next day she goes on Instagram and says, no, it's a family emergency. But it's been like 3 days. Like, we're all asking you in your DMs, and like, you can see publicly what's going on here. Who's telling the truth? Who's lying? You know what I mean?
Well, because at first I thought she, I'm like, she just didn't show up to the weigh-ins. Yeah, you're right. Like, first like I thought she did weigh in, but no, you're right. She didn't weigh in at all. But then also too, at the press conference, they announced about that Stamp Fairtex and this Messi are gonna fight for the title again as well. Yeah.
So they'd fight today in a mixed rules, and then we're gonna do a kickboxing interim in March.
Yeah.
But like it you know what it read like to me is that one championship was trying to be like, oh yeah, whatever, we're giving Anissa Mexen everything. And then being like, look, she didn't show up to anything, so she's losing all this stuff, and now we can put Stamp into an interim. I don't really know who's telling the truth or who's lying here, because we're getting conflicting stories.
I mean, I guess my thing is like, one, like, because I want to say Anissa Mexen, I think, actually put it out there in her post, but she says like, I've never missed a weigh-in, never missed a fight. It's my first time ever. So I kind of want to believe her, because she's kind of built up. Well, the promotion, Chatries kind of said some things, and you're just like, I don't know. So I kind of got to maybe lean towards Anissa Mexen, but you just never know. But again, hey, they always say, there's one side, there's another side, and then there's the truth in the middle. So, I mean, we shall see.
Anyone, like, nobody really knows. We're all speculating on what's going on behind the scenes. What's going on with the interim kickboxing title? Why isn't she fighting Janet Todd? There's just so much, like, there's some weird situation going on.
I mean, I was gonna say, even when they announced that at the press conference, that basically told us that, we're not gonna get Anissa Mexen Janet Todd still, because they were trying to put her and Stamp Fairtex in another kickboxing title fight now. And I'm like, all right, I thought Janet Todd was the champion and all this other stuff, but yeah, like, I don't really know what was up with it. Like, again, like said, Anissa Mexen said it was a family emergency. I kind of want to lean more towards it, because, like, say, she's never done this before, you know, so I'm sure, something had to come up. But then again, I mean, they still had the fight, but it wasn't a mixed rules fight, right? It just became a Muay Thai fight with Stamp.
No, so then Stamp fought Wonder Girl or Supergirl. Hang on here. Supergirl. So Supergirl was fighting the Belarusian Barbie. The Belarusian Barbie missed weight just like a tiny bit. And they're like, okay, well, what if Stamp fought her in a catch weight? Stamp, of course, is going to have a size disadvantage. And they just did a kickboxing bout, of which, like, I think Supergirl, like, she had a size and height advantage. And I think she kind of won, but it was a split decision for Stamp. And that's fine. It's whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then I think both of them got a $50,000 bonus, I believe. Or something like that. Anyway, it was a fun fight, though. I mean, Stamp and Supergirl were clearly having a good time on it. But I don't know. It's a weird situation.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was, because that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, well, like, what happened to her opponent? Because I was like, but then I guess you said, right, she did technically miss weight, so I guess you said, all right, you're off, you're out the fight. But I don't know. I mean, hey, man, one does some crazy things. That's all I know.
I know. The weigh-ins are just like, for media people, the weigh-ins are like Christmas for us. We just have so many headlines, so many stories, so much stuff going on. Like, we do the weigh-ins, and an hour later we get new matchups. Like, who knows what's going on? Anyway, let's move on, because I do love what One Championship is doing, in all honesty. They're creating incredible headlines for us. And one of which was their fights just last week at Lumpinee Stadium. So they're going to be doing weekly fights going forward, which is awesome. And it's in partnership with Lumpinee Stadium. It started, the inaugural one was last week, headlined by their bantamweight Muay Thai world champion, Nongo Ginigeta, getting a knockout win against the former bantamweight kickboxing world champion. It was a great match. It was a come from behind victory, and the crowd was really into this one as well. They ended up giving away like $110,000 in performance bonuses for this one. I don't know. It was a ton of fun. You and I were talking about how good the Sex End fight. If you haven't seen the Sex End fight, go out of your way, find it. It is maybe fight of the year. The man that yields to no one. It was an awesome one. What do you think, Mr. Cuttino?
Yeah, no, it was a good fight. The non-goal fight, like I said, man, his forward pressure. That's what it was. It's his pressure. Kept on coming forward. And I think I said this before, like I said, when you're going forward and the other person's going back, they're the ones who actually are getting tired. And I think that's what happened was he got tired from all that pressure of having to keep walking backwards, walking around. And then saying non-goal caught him, lit him up, and took care of business.
Because Ramazanov was doing quite well. He was maybe winning those first 2 rounds up until the 3rd round knockout. And stop doing him wrong.
Yeah, no. You're right. Like like you said, it kind of was a little bit of a come behind because, like I said, you had him probably down those first 2 rounds, and in the 3rd round, he comes back and gets the W. But like I say, I mean, that's one of the things about saying doing Muay Thai, you kind of get some longer rounds, especially when it's a title fight. So I think Nango knew that he had that in the back of his head that all right, I got 5 rounds to work, and then he just put in the game plan of just walking them down, taking those shots early in the 1st and 2nd round, and boom, by the 3rd round, he said, all right, he's tired, I got him, now let me close the show.
Oh, absolutely. And it was incredible, just a liver punch, put him down. Awesome stuff. A few other things. Definitely the Sex End fight was a good one. I'm going to mispronounce the name, but he's a 17-year-old kid who just looks like a technical dynamo. He's got a good eye for timing. One person to keep your eye on is going to be Kunsel Kaklik. I believe is close enough to the enunciation. But yeah, 17 years old, incredible debut. Just looking like a world beater. Prajan Shai got back in the win column, so we'll see what happens next for him. But again, just looked nearly flawless in this one. But yeah, it was a good one. I don't think there's anything else we need to cover off. One is going to be doing another One Friday Fights from Lumpinee Stadium every week for at least the next year, as far as I know, and they should all be available on YouTube going forward. But yeah, let's talk a little bit KRUSH 1145.
Wait, remember we talk about the because speaking of one, since we're still on one, talk about them announcing their Openweight tournament.
Oh my goodness! Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, one championship has announced an Openweight Muay Thai Grand Prix with $1 million on the line. They put out the poster, and it has Alistair Overeem on it. It has Joseph Lasiri on it. It has Rodtang on it. We have one person in it who is Sinsmut, who fights at 170 pounds. What do you make of it? What do you think of it? What's going on?
I just like how apparently Alistair Overeem just showed up to the arena, sat down next to them. Nobody saw him. Security didn't want to stop him. And then Chachi was saying, like, no, we didn't invite him. I don't know how he got here. But again, this is what we talk about. Storylines, headlines always coming out. I mean, it's fun. I think this is very interesting. Like I say, you usually see Openweight in jiu-jitsu tournaments. But to kind of see this in a Muay Thai and kickboxing is very interesting. Especially too, like you think about it, with Muay Thai, you got the clinch. So I mean, if you're a heavyweight, man, just clinch up on people and call it a day. I think that'll be very interesting. But hey, I mean, maybe even a lighter weight person, but if they're tall and they can clinch a heavyweight and they got a good clinch, like I really think clinch game is really going to be kind of key in this tournament. So I'm kind of looking forward to see who else is going to be in here.
Yeah, it's an exciting one. We don't know what. I mean, they're putting a lot out, saying like, yeah, it's going to be everything from Rodtang to Roman curricula. Like, that's insane. That's madness. Ideally, a lot of people have been saying like, hopefully it's just some midweight classes of like featherweight, lightweight, and welterweight people all squaring off. I don't know what they're going to do, but it's $1 million online. I've even seen some people have the take that this was put out to try to get Francis Ngannou in. So this is what I mean of like, there's so many rumors. You could say anything at this point of just like, yeah, Francis Ngannou versus Rodtang is the fight that we've always wanted to see. You're right. Let's do that one.
I mean, hey man, he is a free agent, so I mean, that would put eyeballs on it.
Man, it is just insane. Hopefully we get some more fighters signed up soon and some dates put on this one because it's just a ton of fun. Hopefully it's a great event, but yeah, we'll see what happens on that one. Not too much to talk about with KRUSH 145. Fumiya Ozawa defended his title. I believe this is the second defense of his title. If you miss it live, there's pretty much no way to watch this event, I'm learning. I don't know. What do you make of the KRUSH event? It was great from what I'm hearing. Even photos online are getting taken off, but can't find much info.
Yeah, no, like, I'm saying K1, or because KRUSH is a part of K1, yeah. But like I said, they always put on good shows. Like I said, to me, I want to say like KRUSH is the Japanese version of Infusion. Yeah. K1 is Glory, KRUSH is Infusion. And we all love how Infusion puts on good fights. To me, KRUSH does the same thing as well. They're just usually in smaller venues, and those are just people that you just got to keep your eye on. So, I mean, again, guys, for us, it is a little bit hard to kind of find the Japanese kickboxing, because we got to go through a whole bunch of stuff to try to watch it. But when you're saying, we try to watch it when we can, or at least get some highlights so we know. But like I said, if you guys can watch KRUSH. To me, they always deliver as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Always star-studded shows. Always a ton of fun. More than anything, you get to see developing to old talent. It's a ton of fun. But yeah, it's definitely worth watching on a Bima TV there. Make sure to check out upcoming this weekend is Rise 164. This is going to be on January 28th. And this is Chan Hyung Lee is going to look to make the second defense of his title. I believe he's on a 2-fight win streak, both by TKO at this point. And the gentleman he's fighting is going to be Huma Hitachi, who's on like a 10-fight win streak in the organization. He's done some experience with also shoot boxing, some deep kick, but he's mainly a Rise fighter. But yeah, on like a 10-fight win streak, so it should be a banger. What do you think? What do you make of it?
No, man. I think that really is the fight to look forward to. Is the title fight. That really is the fight that I really only have my eyes really set on. I mean, of course they got some other fights on there that look good, but really the title fight is always interesting. But I'm gonna put it out there. I probably am gonna say. And still, I think the champ is going to stay the champ. And but hey, I could be wrong.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a really fun one. I'm looking forward to it. Let's take a look at the upcoming Glory Rivals 5 event. This is going to be the one in Tulum, Mexico, where it's Glory fighters fighting fighters from War of Nations. It's got some really cool ones. Abraham Vidales, who just fought Pech, is going to be fighting Tomas Aguirre from Argentina. Tessa Tacom is on it. Yeah, it's going to be a really fun one, especially people like you in North America. This must be a great time zone. Finally, some kickboxing in your time zone.
Yeah, no, like I said, I definitely there's definitely one fight on here that I definitely got my eye on. That's of course is the lightweight fight between Gazani and Nick Chastain. I actually fought on the same card as Nick Chastain at Glory 55. Mm-hmm. And me and him, we kind of had a little back and forth on Instagram a couple of years ago. I was just putting it out there how I would be interested in fighting him, because I think he was gonna fight. I think it was Jay. What the frick's his name? He goes by J-Ho, but I think it was Justin Houston, something like that. He's out of Colorado. He like hangs out. He trains guys in MMA now for their kickboxing. But I remember those two guys were gonna fight. I remember just putting it out there. Hey, I'd be interested in fighting one of these guys. Of course, Chastain put out, oh, hey, I'm only fighting ranked guys. I want to try to get to the belt. We put that line out, and I was like, okay, buddy, I'll see you eventually. So, oof. I mean, just putting it out there, just saying, but hey, I always got my eyes on the lightweight division. We'll see. Like that fight should be a good fight. I've had my eye on Gazani as well, because like saying he's somebody that to me I felt like the promotion was really promoting him, pushing him a lot, because it basically seemed like every card he was always on. It was like, wait, this dude just fought, and he's all the way coming from Brazil. But it just seemed like he was always fighting. So I think he's somebody that that they're high on too. I mean, I kind of want to say, man, with the way how the lightweight division is, I mean, it could be maybe the winner of this could maybe get a title shot. Like I think the champ is kind of just chilling, waiting to see who's next. And I kind of want to say if Gazani wins, I could see him getting a title shot. Chastain, they might say, hey, you gotta maybe win another one or two, but we'll see, because I think Chastain might be ranked 7th. I think like Gazani's like maybe ranked 3, something like that.
Well, yeah. So the lightweight division actually has a lot of stuff going on because right after is Glory 83, and then that one is going to have Muhammad Jiraiya fighting at Glory 83. You also have Garrett.
Hey,
Fillet.
just let you know, Jiraiya, Robbie Texas. I still want the smoke in 2023, baby. I'm still here.
That's right. Going from main event to Glory upcoming this February. So there's a lot cooking in the lightweight division, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like I say, like I think that's why I think this fight coming up on Glory Rivals is definitely one to keep your eyes on, because like I said, I think one of those two guys could be in the title picture soon.
Absolutely. It's looking forward to it. It's going to be a ton of fun in that one. Glory 83 will be right after on February 11th, but I think we're back before then and we can do a big breakdown because there's a couple of title fights on that one that are definitely worth watching. Anything else we need to cover up before we head out of here?
No, man, I think that's really it. Just say, people, like say, hey guys, we always enjoy the comments. We, especially on YouTube. I mean, even on the Discord too. Like say, let us know. Like I said, man, there's some things that we can't really get to. Like I said, we're trying to do the Japanese kickboxing as best we can, with K1 and KRUSH, because remember, all that stuff comes out and they put out a lot of stuff, and most of the time it's always in Japanese, so we got to try to translate it if possible. So it can be a little rough for us, but we're trying our best. Hey, you guys got any ways to try to help us to watch these events? Let us know. Or hey, is there anything else like you want us to kind of talk about? Let us know any subjects. Because there are things too that we talk about. Adding that to the show as well. But just again, so much has been going on in kickboxing that we haven't really had a slow week where we can be like, oh hey, you know what? Let's talk about this going on in the kickboxing world.
Yeah, it's been a busy one. We've even added, because we do our typical schedule, but we've added ones in between just because we have so much going on, which is great. Which is great that so much is going on in the kickboxing world. But yeah, if someone can help me figure out how to use all these multiple VPNs to access fights, that would be great. Thanks, guys.
Oh yeah, also too. Shout outs Rico Verhoeven. He had his surgery. Looks like things are going well. Hopefully, like I say, we will get him in Plazibat at later this year, which I most likely already said when they announced a collision event. I'm like, isn't collision usually in like October or December? And
that's true, yeah.
And I guess they were trying to have it in March, and I guess the collision guys were like, no, collision's supposed to happen in the fall. Don't try to change it.
I love it. I love it so much. It's so much fun. There's never a dull moment in kickboxing. We are 2 steps forward and 1 step back on sport. Yeah. But yeah, the collision, they tried to announce it, and Rico got injured, I guess, the night before the announcement. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, thanks for that. Classic.
Yeah. Oh, and then, dude, there's so much going on because I'm such a big glory. But yeah, I mean, about Jamal Ben Sadiq being suspended, which nobody knew about until like recently, and then also,
go ahead. No, go ahead on it, because we got word from Glory CEO, and he said Jamal Ben Sadiq has been suspended since the August 20th for violation of the Glory rules. There's an internal panel judging his situation, and its ruling is expected on January 20th. And any claims that Glory was not offering fights are false. We'd be delighted to have him fight in the ring, but his actions are no fault of ours, and he can't fight until the situation is resolved. So I don't know. Scott Rudman, that's what he last told us. That's all we know about the situation, right?
I know a lot of people on the social media are kind of thinking that it might be PED related, but we don't know. He just says that he violated a rule, so we don't know what that rule is.
Weird times. I just want them all to fight. I think it'd be great.
yeah. Like I said, I mean, heck, man, when's my guy Levi Rickards gonna get back in there? Like I said, there were, to me, like I said, there are a lot of fighters that Glory do have on their roster, and it's like, let these people fight. But like I said, we got Glory Rivals 5 coming up, then we got Glory 83 coming up, and like I said, hopefully soon they're gonna just start keep on churning out cards. So. Just got to see, saying the year just started, and saying they already got 2 set up. I think that's more than what last year had, because I don't think they had anything in January. So here we go. No. We're gonna have January and February already, and we were gonna have something in March, but Rico got hurt, so who never knows? They might just change that.
Yeah, I've seen rumors that because they have such like Glory has a very good heavyweight division and they just have a few guys sitting around. They actually had a discussion to do a one night Grand Prix with all the heavyweights. That was the rumor that I was hearing. I don't know if any of that is substantive or true at all. But yeah, there's essentially we just have a lot. And this is the why we were so impatient with Glory is because over the pandemic, they have so many talented fighters not fighting. And finally, we're back out of the pandemic. We want to get everybody back in the ring as quickly as possible because they have so many talented fighters. We just want to see them fight, you know?
Yeah, exactly, man. I would love to see Josh Johnson back in there too, lightweight.
I saw him training the other day. He's always looking sharp is the thing. He's good, right?
Yeah, like I said, technical wise, phenomenal, like one of the best. So like I said, I mean, I definitely like you say, there's just a whole bunch of fighters on there that you just want to see these guys fight.
Yeah, that's it. All right, let's get out of here. I got an interview right after this one. So Mr. Cuttino, have a great time in training and we'll talk to you soon, sir.